Tonight in Omaha, opposites attract. The visitors won Knoxville inside the top six thanks to an unbeaten run in 5 of the last 6. As for Union Omaha, it's been nearly 2 months since a Los Pujos victory. It's a midweek meeting between a surging newcomer and a struggling ex-champ. One Knoxville visits Union Omaha. We welcome you to Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska, right outside of Omaha. I'm Ken Levicka, so glad you're with us on this Wednesday evening. Here is the USL League One table brought to you by Autism Action Partnership. North Carolina FC top of the table by a point over Charlotte Independence, upset over the weekend by one Knoxville. A 2-0 victory that pushes one Knoxville into the top 6. And then you have Union Omaha scuffling, have not won since late April. But one of the bright spots for Union Omaha, Noe Mesa, 6 goals. He's tied for second in the USL League One Golden Boot race, and he has scored in a variety of ways. The spectacular, the poaching kind, but he's the right man in the right place. There's one of those spectacular goals from Noe Mesa, by the way. Just an absolute masterpiece. And the attack goes through the man in his second year in a Union Omaha shirt. One Knoxville, they have a sensational goal scorer of their own, and that's Frankie Ross. The sensational Scot had the first 2 goals of his season against Charlotte Independence, accounting for all the scoring. He's been limited by injury this season. He will make his 8th appearance of the year here in 2023. Here tonight, one Knoxville, a completely different dynamic with him in the 11. We are set for soccer. The little ones are out in force, including a carousel. That is nifty. The older ones out in force as well. We'll be here in force with you as well. USL League One, Union Omaha, one Knoxville tonight on ESPN+.
This just in. Omaha is a soccer city, and Union Omaha is your community club. Want to make sure you don't miss our biggest summer Saturday matchups? We offer mini plan packages. Choose your seating location and take your pick from a 4 or 8 match ticket bundle. Prices start as low as $60. Visit unionomaha.com/mini-plans to check out all the options. One city, one club, one means all.
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you into sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Getting prepared for Union Omaha, one Knoxville, as we start week number 15 in this USL League One campaign in 2023. And let's take a glance at one of the standard bearers in the league from a goalkeeper's perspective. That's Rashid Nuhu, the 2-time Golden Glove winner in USL League One. An uncharacteristically high 1.545 goals against average this season, but he has faced a lot of shots, still 3 clean sheets, and of course he is always going to put together the most athletic looking and dazzling saves in a USL League One season. The starting 11 brought to you by Rotella's Italian Bakery, and this is a spicy starting 11. Dominic Casciato's 11 with Nuhu in goal. Noe Mesa, 6 goals on the season, up top with Steven Dos Santos. Then you have Gil, Dolabella, Brito, and Skeers in the midfield. Now for one Knoxville, the other goalkeeper, Sean Lewis, quietly putting together one of the best seasons in this Golden Glove race in 2023. 4 saves Saturday, including that one skying and poking it over the crossbar in the upset victory over Charlotte Independence. 5 clean sheets on the year for the former Indy 11 man. Now the one Knoxville starting 11 for Mark McKeever. No changes to the lineup that took down Charlotte at home back on Saturday, including Johnson and Keegan up top, and Frankie Ross making his 6th start of the campaign, an injury-riddled opening portion to this 2023 season. But Ross with 2 goals Saturday, looking to keep up the hot foot as he leads one Knoxville into Werner Park. Still one of the most unique home field advantages in all of USL League One. And again, the starting 11 brought to you by Rotella's Italian Bakery. The referee tonight, Fevzi Demirhan. He will be controlling the action as you take a look at Steven Dos Santos. There's the whistle. We are underway. Midweek action in USL League One, Werner Park. And glad you're with us on this Wednesday night on ESPN Plus. I'm Ken Levicka. Union Omaha, the hosts, come in. A team desperately looking for 3 points in the table. 2 victories on the year. Haven't enjoyed one of those 2 wins since April the 29th, right here in Papillion against Northern Colorado. 3 defeats, 6 draws. That far and away the largest number from a draw perspective in USL League One. One Knoxville, they have arguably been the surprise of the year in USL League One. 5 victories coming into tonight. The signature one coming Saturday, the 2-0 defeat of Charlotte Independence. 4 defeats, 4 draws, 19.6th above that playoff line in USL League One. Union Omaha sitting 10th at this moment. Union Omaha in their black shirts here tonight at home. One Knoxville, the 2nd time this season they have worn the recently debuted Marble City kits. Kickoff temperature of 88 degrees. It has been hot, hot, hot here in the Omaha area. Temperatures all week have been in the 90s, forecasted to remain in the 90s for highs through the weekend. And there we see an opening touch for Rashid Nuhu. And it's easy to say, oh, Nuhu has dropped off because of the epic amount of goals that Union Omaha, especially in the last 6 matches, has conceded. But Nuhu has faced a ton of shots. He's made 30 saves. He's appeared in every match this season. Still has put together 3 clean sheets. Again, a back-to-back Golden Glove winner and the goalkeeper of the year last season in USL League One. And of course was the backstop for the USL League One championship side in 2021. And there is Sean Lewis on the opposite side. I mentioned him in the open along with Nuhu. 5 clean sheets on the campaign, but he has a much more solid, at least consistent defense in front of him that's only conceded 3 goals in the last 6, and a big reason why one Knoxville is unbeaten in 5 of the last 6. The only blemish, a loss to table-topping North Carolina FC. That is deflected out of play, and there you see the score from the other match here on this Wednesday. History made in Greenville, a 3-1 lead over Chattanooga for Greenville triumph. Liam McKinnon, a hat trick in the opening 22 minutes. That is the fastest hat trick in the history of USL League One. There is the first trip into the box here for one Knoxville. It's spread out to the outside, cross delivered, and cleared out of play. Also, it'll be of little solace to Chattanooga fans in that other match, but that first half tally, the first goal that Chattanooga as a franchise has ever scored on the road at Greenville. This is a very tucked in playing surface here at Warner Park, minor league baseball stadium, masquerading as the home soccer pitch for Union Omaha since its inception. Baseball home of the Omaha Storm Chasers, AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. And it is certainly, from a dimension standpoint, one of the smallest pitches you're going to see in professional soccer in this country, and presents a very unique home field advantage for Union Omaha that they, unfortunately for them this season, have not been able to take advantage of. Union Omaha, again, I mentioned, 2021 USL League One champions. We've talked about them being winless in their last 6, the last win coming April 29th, 3-2, right here against Northern Colorado. But what many outside of Omaha don't recall is that Union Omaha went winless in its last 8 to end last year. So from a franchise perspective, it has been quite a run of futility spanning multiple seasons now. 2 victories in the last 19 matches as a franchise for Union Omaha. Unfathomable considering all the success that this young franchise has had. And the man trying to figure out is Dominic Cassiato, the first-year head man, coming here to Union Omaha to take over the reins that were left by Jay Mims, who was previously the only head coach this franchise had known. He was at El Paso Locomotive before making his way to USL League One, going from the championship to this league. Noe Mesa got behind the defense, but couldn't quite get a final touch on it as Lewis came to avoid damage. Union Omaha with the first eyebrow-raising moment of the night. There's a low cross in, handled nicely after that delivery from Akoff. And then it's finally touched out of play. It'll be a throw-in for one Knoxville. Union Omaha in the J. Mims area, the calling card was defense, but that has been largely non-existent since late April. Union Omaha scored goals at a solid clip, 8 of them in the last 6, but in that same span, 12 conceded, including back-to-back matches of 3 conceded in draws against rival Greenville and then Chattanooga. Akoff, as you saw Mark McKeever on your screen just moments ago, and Akoff is called for the foul. Deon Akoff for Union Omaha. Left back, a native of Fontana, California. This is only his 5th appearance of the season, as he comes up to greet Jake Keegan, the outstanding goal scorer for one Knoxville. Waldeck, you saw him put a head on it for one Knoxville. He leads USL League One in crosses, but unable to grab control of it in the midfield, and here comes Union Omaha pressing once again. A desperate side is Union Omaha, but because it's late June, you don't want to necessarily hit the panic button, and that's what Dominic Cassiato has been attempting to balance here over the last couple of weeks. Akoff coming forward. Akoff, nice move, cuts to the inside. Bit of a heavy touch, though. And one Knoxville able to avoid trouble, and then a foul. JP Skierce. it's going to be a good night for Union Omaha if you hear Noe Mesa's name a significant amount of the time. He already had one potential chance here early. A bit of indecision there from Waldeck and a bad giveaway. There is Mesa, feeds it into the box. Couldn't clear it away though. Mesa able to stick out his left foot, and finally that's headed away. But that was sloppy from one Knoxville inside of its own area. That is uncharacteristic of a team that has been nothing but solid in the back now for the last month or so. Mesa was trying to pick out Dos Santos. Mesa gave it one more go. Finally, Skelton was able to head it away. And one Knoxville is a little bit shaky in a dangerous area. Dolabella that time was able to force the turnover, but wasn't quite on the same page with Dos Santos, and it rolls to Sean Lewis. So despite the frustrating draws for Union Omaha, the struggles can't pick up a victory. Scoring goals has not been an issue for them, and one Knoxville needs to be careful. Akoff puts on the burner, stays with it. Long cross to the edge of the area. Footed down, long shot, deflected, a rebound, and Lewis fell on it. It was crossed up for a moment. The shot had pace. Lewis able to recover with pressure bearing down on him. A shot with conviction from distance. Lewis able to hang on to it after Dolabella put a charge into it and Dos Santos was trailing, trying to clean up the loose ball. So a shot on target for Union Omaha. One Knoxville has not seen a lot of the ball here early. Akoff on the run. Can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Acrobatic tiptoeing of the touchline by Akoff. Mesa pushes it back to Dolabella. Now left of the area. Into the middle. And able to read a passing lane was Thomas. Contact along the touchline. The referee, Fevzi Demirhan, says play on. Dolabella on to Akoff. Akoff has been very busy on this right flank. Pushes it to Mesa. He crosses to the top of the 6-yard box. And it's Vanderploum who concedes the corner. First corner of the night for either team. And this corner will be brought to you by Modelo. Vanderploum, Skelton, Thomas, they've all been scrambling here defensively for one Knoxville. Some desperate defending early. Here's the corner, in swinger, and just a bit too tall for J.P. Skiers, and it'll roll out of play. Now, one Knoxville has been able to put together this very strong run of play. Again, unbeaten in 5 of 6. Not because of the goal scoring, though it's been opportunistic, and Frankie Ross was sensational with his brace in the win over Charlotte Independence. But with only 13 goals on the season, third least in USL League One, it's been the defense that has won the day for Mark McKeever's side. Here's a potential opportunity. Is fed to the top of the area. Nuhu read it well, though, and is able to grab it on a hop, and he distributes and says, run, let's go. Union Omaha trying to counter. The men in black into the attacking half. One Knoxville trying to recover. And this, which one Knoxville handled well, Union Omaha trying to get out on the run, is what Mark McKeever identified this week as one of the biggest concerns, is if Union Omaha is able to get out on the run. Is it as much the counterattack? Is it as much an identifying feature as it was under Jay Mims? The answer to that is no. Is Union Omaha still extremely capable of hitting on the counter and doing it very fast? The answer is yes. There's Skiers in the middle. Knoxville able to win possession back, but it has been very one-sided. The pitch has been tilted very much towards Sean Lewis's goal as Union Omaha has asked some early questions here in the opening 15 minutes. This is the first meeting between these sides all time. One Knoxville making the leap to USL League One this season. Was in League Two a year ago. Its debut year. Union Omaha's only home has been USL League One. Finalist in their first year. In a championship match never played against Greenville, then champions the following year, 2021. Last season, able to make the playoffs despite the rough finish to the year and rough start for that matter. Union Omaha made that dream quarterfinal run of the U.S. Open Cup a year ago, but only won 4 of the first 11. They've only won 2 of their first 11 here this season, but winless in their last 8. Still made the playoffs, but bowed out in extra time in the quarters to the eventual runners-up Chattanooga Red Wolves. Mentioned Chattanooga. They're on the wrong side of a scoreline right now to Greenville, and they have the interim man who led them to the USL League One Championship back in charge, Jimmy Weekly, the interim again after Ziggy Koratowski was dismissed after only 12 matches this season. So the first coaching change of the year comes in Chattanooga. Koratowski had replaced Jimmy Obleda. He and the team separated after last season officially. Long ball forward. As one Knoxville has not really presented much of a threat early on to this Union Omaha defense, this struggling unit. Waldeck takes a return pass from Vanderplow. Waldeck, the veteran, former Greenville Triumph man, former FC Tucson man as well. That club spending some time in USL League Two, though that is seemingly not a permanent move. It's not the only notable sporting event going on in the Omaha area. The College World Series taking place at this moment, in fact. Warner Park without traffic here in Papillion. It's about 17 miles to Charles Schwab Field. That is the home of the College World Series. 22-minute drive. I know that because I map quested it. Knoxville is laboring to try and get into the attacking third. Waldeck will try and maneuver his way in there, but Meza denied him an open path, and instead Waldeck defers to midfield. Long ball trying to go over the top. And now here is one Knoxville with an opportunity. Waldeck, low cross, was touched on by Akoff and then cleaned up. Not a single shot yet for one Knoxville, 2 already for Union Omaha, including one that forced Sean Lewis into a tricky save where he briefly gave up a rebound but was able to fall on it. It's probably a fair assessment to label one Knoxville as the early surprise of this USL League One campaign. At least in the discussion. Northern Colorado, not their good play, but their at times dominance, perhaps you can, as that was ugly. You can put Northern Colorado's opening part of the year into the discussion. Look at the drum section. It is disco night here at Warner Park. That probably has nothing to do with that. Here's a low cross that dribbles on to Nuhu. Now with it being disco night, look in front of us, we've got earth. You can hear it, we've got wind. Fortunately, no fire, though it is really, really hot. Talking with Dominic Casciato this week, and he said Union Omaha has moved some of its practices first to 10 a.m., then 9 a.m., just to try and get a little bit of relief from the midday heat. Every day this week, highs in the 90s. This is blasted inside the area, but blasted back out with a head across the touchline. And Union Omaha will try to continue to pick and probe here at this one Knoxville fortified defense. This has been a bright start for the Union Omaha attack. Very much on the front foot here as we approach the midway point of this opening half. Player down. That is James Thomas. At the top of the era, Mesa gives it to Akoff, but he skied it. He tried a little punch shot with that right foot, but he got too much air under it. Puts it up over the bar. He had a lot of room there to get that shot off as Waldeck closed late. Too much real estate for Union Omaha to be able to operate that close to goal. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Nice move in the midfield. It's played through. One Knoxville, and that is hit out of the stadium. Looked promising for a moment, and the end result was an orbit ball. It was a good run forward. Good recovery from the Union Omaha back line. Alexis Suahi was able to make the attacker think about it. And that ball was blasted over the right field wall. Dion Akoff on his right foot. Not much of an issue there. And one Knoxville able to handle that. One Knoxville's path to success hasn't exactly been pretty throughout the course of this 2023 campaign, though it's become increasingly effective as Union Omaha comes surging forward again. Low shot blocked away. But no surprise, Union Omaha back on it. Akoff to the middle. Suahi on the retrieve. One Knoxville has been really, really, really good, very effective on the road, all things considered. Unbeaten in their last 4 away from Regal Stadium in Knoxville. 2 victories, 2 draws. But how have they been able to grab points on the road? One Knoxville has spent 77.3% of the time in road matches even, just hanging around. Not on top, not trailing, just even, giving themselves a chance. They are a gritty unit, and that is the Mark McKeever identity for this one Knoxville side. Just stay in it, and that tangible number tells the entire story. In fact, one Knoxville on the season, they've only trailed 13.1% of the time. That's the second best mark in USL League One, behind Northern Colorado. That is a remarkable number for this club, especially considering how badly it has struggled at times on the attack, largely because of how short-handed, injury-riddled this club has been. Whether it's Ross, whether it's Illich. At the top of the area, one Knoxville. Oh, Nuhu was crossed up for a moment. There was a miscommunication with Mastrantonio. Nuhu is not happy with Mastrantonio. They both try to figure out whose ball that was. All the while, Keegan was starting to leak through. Oh, man. That could have been disastrous. Luckily for Nuhu, his body was positioned where Keegan wasn't going to be able to slither through there and get a touch on it. There is the first identity of a Union Omaha side that has struggled mightily defensively. And the first corner of the match for one Knoxville. Waldeck's going to play it short. Now back on to Waldeck. Popped into the area. And a goal kick, well defended. It is hot, and you're starting to see some of the effects. It looks like there was also a knock to the abdominal area. We will have a hydration break momentarily by rule. There you see a bit of a collision. Looked like a knee to hip situation. Nothing purposeful there from Steven Dos Santos. It's been a fairly clean match to this point. Not a whole lot of whistles. Now I know as soon as I say that, we're going to have an avalanche of whistles from Fevzi Demirhan. But we'll enjoy the clean play before the jinx kicks in. To the outside, off to retrieve. Here's Milanese. Now to Mesa. To Marco Milanesa. And too tall, that delivery for Brito. Joe Brito 2 goals last season, 2 assists. He was the hero of the 4th round matchup in the U.S. Open Cup, the win over Minnesota United. His spectacular chest-to-foot goal to take out a second MLS side on that glorious U.S. Open Cup run. Now we have our first scuffle of the match, some pushing and shoving. Rolabella unhappy. Brito on to Akoff. Akoff, great move. Room to operate. Akoff lays it off. Now inside the box. Good turn. Left-footed shot blocked away. A lot of power behind that for Dos Santos, but he had no room to launch it. One Knoxville recovered well. Akoff has been a problem for One Knoxville. The speed and size, and he has made life difficult up that right wing. And here is the water break as we are a half hour into this one. Still scoreless, Union Omaha and One Knoxville. So by rule, based on the kickoff temperature, it'll be a hydration break. Union Omaha has certainly been the more aggressive side, the more put together side here on this Wednesday night. This is the opening night of week 15. That's right, 15th week of the USL League One here in 2023. This is the second match of the night. This hydration break brought to you by the Lindsay Corporation. Let's go ahead and take a glance at what else is happening in USL League One. Chattanooga Red Wolves. We talked about it earlier. Jimmy Weekly is back on an interim basis. Led Chattanooga into the USL League One Championship against the eventual champion Tormenta last season. They were 6-8-2 without Jimmy Weekly last year. With Jimmy Weekly, 6-3-5. And with Ziggy Koratowski dismissed earlier this week, Jimmy Weekly is back again on an interim basis. So we'll see how that plays out in Chattanooga. At last check, they were trailing Greenville Triumph in a match that saw Liam McKinnon for Greenville collect a hat trick in the opening 22 minutes. That is the fastest solo trio of goals in USL League One history. These marble kits, and I'll call them pink because the social media accounts of One Knoxville have done so. These were debuted last week prior to the matchup against Charlotte, made their debuts at home to winning effect. And so Mark McKeever and the equipment staff saying, hey, let's bring out the pink shirts here in Omaha. This is skied into this hot Midwestern air. And swiped out of play, throw in for Union Omaha. These two sides were supposed to meet for the first time back on April 1st, but Union Omaha had travel issues trying to get to Knoxville. So that match rescheduled for July 18th in Tennessee, on the campus of the University of Tennessee. By the way, just 17 miles from here, the University of Tennessee baseball team was bounced from the College World Series yesterday. Waldeck grabs a new select ball. And a battle in the midfield. One Knoxville trying to bring a championship to that University of Tennessee campus. Football, very, very, very strong year. Last year beat Alabama at home, but thanks to injury to star quarterback, started to fracture at the end of the season. Then there was Tennessee basketball. Made it to the Sweet 16 at Madison Square Garden, only to lose to the best story of the year in college basketball, Florida Atlantic. And then baseball makes it to the College World Series, but bows out. So now it's one Knoxville's turn. Here's Akoff. He'll throw it into the area. On the turn, Dos Santos, dispossessed. Well done. Fevzi Demerhan says, Dion Akoff, I need you to take about 4 steps back and throw it in. Here's Skiers. Now Brito. Brito to the middle, swings it in. Headed away from the 18-yard box, now pushed up into the air. High boot there from Keegan. And one Knoxville able to force Union Omaha to reset in the midfield. Five Union Omaha shots to 2 for the visitors from Knoxville, Tennessee. On the move, Brito, nobody home, but a bit of indecision there from James Thomas. He wasn't sure who might be lurking towards his backside and opted to concede the corner, so a set piece opportunity for Union Omaha. Handling the corner duties, brought to you by Modelo, will be Luis Gill. 2 caps for the U.S. men's national team, and it'll be a right-footed in-swinger. This is sent high into the air. It is punched on Angelo Kelly, and he'll punch this into the middle of the pitch. It's headed on to Lewis. Threat averted. Lewis, formerly of Indy 11, has found a home here with Mark McKeever and company. Oh, problems here. Can Lewis get there? The answer is yes. There was a lack of urgency on one Knoxville's part. That did indeed roll out of play. Waldeck couldn't get there in time. One Knoxville, just not a whole lot of fluidity, not a whole lot of ideas right now on the attack. But again, as we touched on earlier, one Knoxville, as long as they hang in there, tread water a bit, stay even, they've put themselves in positions to win. Especially with Union Omaha's penchant for allowing late goals. Again, 6 draws on the season as Jake Keegan's called for a foul. 6 draws on the season for Union Omaha. The most in USL League One, and so many of them entirely preventable. Union Omaha has led in 3 of its last 6 matches. Had a 3-1 lead against Greenville and allowed 2 goals in a 2-minute span. There's a turnover in the midfield. One Knoxville out on the run. Well played by Swahi. And it'll be an attacking third throw-in instead for one Knoxville. Knoxville stays with it, almost dispossessed it, and now they do. And Skiers had his shirt held from behind. And there's a card, and rightfully so. I was wondering if that was going to come out from Fevzi Demrahan, and there it is. So really our first mention of the night of Frank Ross is him being booked in the 41st minute. Frank Ross has really not made much of an impact after his 2-goal performance against Charlotte on Saturday. That yellow card presented by Hale Varsity Club. There's a cross into the box, headed up into the air. Akoff decided to swing at it. He short-footed it, and then this one is headed to the roof of the stadium. Steven Dos Santos sent that to downtown Papillion. Akoff put it on a tee, and it's gone. Villalobos into the middle. Now Ross put the brakes on momentarily. Keegan lurking in the middle of the box. Waldeck on the outside. Can he keep it in play? Nope. It was actually James Thomas who was trying to maintain the possession for one Knoxville along the touchline, but it leaked through him, and now there's a foul. On the restart, Akoff had to turn on the burners to get there, pops it off his heel. A little bit more work than he was anticipating. But Union Omaha will methodically get back to work. Union Omaha has had the majority of the shots, the chances, the possession. There's no goal to score for it, or show for it, I should say. And that was mishit. Only one shot on target, though, for Union Omaha. Sean Lewis made a sprawling save to his right, the only shot on target so far in this match. Gave up a brief rebound before gobbling the ball back up. Right now, just the way that this match has flowed, it feels like the only way one Knoxville is going to get a really good opportunity is going to be on the counter, but Union Omaha definitely is more athletic side, more speed on the Union Omaha side. Joe Brito, right foot punches it right to Lewis. A late run was made by Luis Gill, make that Dos Santos, but was not going to be there in time. Kelly. And there's a whistle. A wrestling match breaking out along the near touchline. Mark McKeever saying, look at that, Dolabella, the guilty man in that scenario. I don't see any reaching to the pocket. There is Mark McKeever. He has done a fantastic job. Had won Knoxville in his second season after a very successful run at Division II Young Harris College. There's one Knoxville asking some questions here late in the half. But it's won back by Union Omaha. Now a fight for it. Kelly was held for a moment. He was able to get possession, got inside, forces a kick save from Nuhu. And a throw in. Well, there's the best chance of the night for one Knoxville, and it comes courtesy of Kelly, who didn't give up on that ball. Instead of complaining for a foul, he kept coming. He had Waldeck trailing. Nuhu really niftily done to use his foot to keep it away from Waldeck. Two minutes of stoppage time brought to you by Muchachos. Here's Thomas. Thomas trying to find a muchacho and couldn't do so. So here comes Union Omaha. Can one of these sides strike gold here before half? Brito up the right side, lays it off for Akoff. He's pressured. Waldeck takes it away. Now a battle ensues in the corner. Stick with us at halftime, brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center. We'll have news and notes from USL League One, as here's a blast and a late corner. We'll have a look at the scoreboard as well. We'll have highlights up to this point. I don't know if it's going to be much more than 20 seconds or so, but we'll see what happens on this Modelo corner kick for Union Omaha, courtesy of Luis Gill. High, popped up corner and no problems for Sean Lewis. And there's the whistle, and there's halftime. So those halftime highlights, I can promise you will have recorded moving pictures that will play back. Can't tell you how long they'll be, but I promise they'll be there. So after 45 minutes of action, Sean Lewis has been the name mentioned most, and he's put the most work in. And he is right now on pace for his 6th clean sheet of the year. Union Omaha haven't won since April 29th, and they don't score here in the opening half. One Knoxville hanging tough despite a lack of attack. Union Omaha, one Knoxville, 0-0 at the half. Halftime show on the way. It's USL League One on ESPN+.
My name is Yoskar Galvin. I'm a midfielder for Union Omaha. I mean, it was exciting because at first I really didn't think I was gonna get schooling, but my mom was pressuring me, and obviously I pressured myself to get my studies done because it's really important to me and my family. So right now I'm trying to get my generals out of the way and try to figure out what I want to do. I want to get my minor, obviously, and then try to see if I want to do my master's. But that's just been my goal since I was a little kid, and my parents' goal, my parents' dream, and that's the dream that I want to fulfill for them. And obviously playing professional and having school is just an amazing thing. I mean, getting school for free is an amazing feat, and obviously getting it from your team and just Bellevue being so supportive. I mean, every counselor, every helper for the school has been helpful a lot, and I've been learning. My name is Yoskar, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
Turned over, Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising!
We welcome you back to the courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center halftime show. USL League One, Union Omaha, 1 Knoxville at the half. Week 14, a hot one, just like the weather here in Omaha. Mark Schoenster with a review of the week that was.
It's time for your regularly scheduled bus stop in the last weekend highlights in USL League One. Starting in Richmond, it's game 1 of 3 in the Henny Derby between the Kickers and Forward Madison. This opportunity denied. Carlton Belmar gets the shot off, but Jake Kroll is in the way of it, keeping it at scoreless. Then later in the game, in the 78th minute, well bodied down by Christian Cheney to Nazim Bartman, and he connects with Stephen Payne of all players, the former Richmond kicker, in his first game back at City Stadium, scoring against his former team and securing 3 points for the Mingos on the road. Talk about some payback and showing up your former team, Stephen Payne. He'll be happy about that one. Meanwhile, first ever matchup between the Jacks and 1 Knoxville. I'm sure you're getting tired of me saying that about these Lexington games and these Knoxville games, but we're running out of those now as we're in the middle of the season. But first off, a fantastic free kick from Frank Ross in the first half. Then, in the second half, James Thomas tripped up by Miguel Ibarra inside the penalty area, a point to the spot, and Frank Ross, who hadn't scored all season, has a brace in this game, locking it up at 2-0. 4-1 Knoxville over the Jacks. Turned out to be a pretty shocking result here. Dane Kelly would get a chance late in the match to try and get one back. He only has 2 goals this season, the USL's all-time leading scorer. Hasn't been of a detriment to the Independents so far this season, but still something to think about. 2-0 in favor of Knoxville. There was another game, Northern Colorado Tormenta, end up getting postponed due to weather, so that takes us to the final game of the night. Jesus Partida gets denied by Mazzola in this match between the Fuego and Greenville Triumph. That opportunity, probably the best one Central Valley had the entire evening. And then in the 95th minute, as time is expiring, 3 substitutes connect. Gavilanez, Cox Ashwood, then Labovitz. Tucks it in, and the Greenville Triumph snatch 3 points across the country against Central Valley Fuego. Joy abundant for the Triumph as they secure 3 points, and some frustration on the other side of things for Central Valley Fuego. They're in last place in USL League One with 10 points coming into Week 15. Then we got some Sunday action as well. I know earlier I mentioned it's the first ever meeting for Knoxville and Charlotte, but this isn't even the first meeting at this venue for Lexington and North Carolina FC. It will be a first assist and a first goal in the season, though, for Nico Brown and Will Bainham. Such a wonderfully squared header, bottom left corner. Then feast your eyes on Olex Anderson. So good on the ball, connects with McLaughlin, and he finds Louis Perez for his 5th goal of the season. Then just 4 minutes later, Garrett McLaughlin, who just got an assist, would then get a goal for his own to make it 2-1 in favor of North Carolina FC at home, feeling very good about themselves. But then Tate Robertson happened. What a fantastic strike. That would level the game at 2 apiece. Both teams would share a point. And because Charlotte ended up losing on the road, North Carolina FC, despite not winning, would end up getting to retain their top spot in the standings.
Thank you, Mark. Can't live in the past, got to look ahead. We do that when we come back. Halftime at Omaha. Union Omaha 1, Knoxville. Back after this, Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center halftime show, USL League One on ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Turned over, Babu Karjai to put it away. Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 Rising.
Back here, halftime, brought to you by Marriott La Vista Conference Center. Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center. Union Omaha, 1 Knoxville scoreless. News and notes. International duty, 14 USL players, 13 from the championship, 1 from USL League One. On the preliminary rosters for the CONCACAF Gold Cup, Jimmy Weekly, he is back on an interim basis as the boss at Chattanooga after Ziggy Koratowski was dismissed earlier this week. Tate Robertson, Lexington, the player of the week. And there you see him. And there you see the Week 14 Team of the Week featuring 2 players we have seen tonight. Sean Lewis in goal for 1 Knoxville, and Frankie Ross, his 2 goals leading to an upset victory over Charlotte Independence on Saturday. Goals leaders in USL League One. It is never too early to start talking Golden Boot. Trevor Rahman, what a year he's having for Northern Colorado. 8 goals on the year, 2 better than Rafa Mensigan of North Carolina. Noe Mesa, who we have mentioned many times here tonight. Luis Perez, North Carolina, has 5 goals, 1 behind Mesa. Jake Keegan, 1 Knoxville, right in the discussion as well. What about assists? Greenville triumph, Leo Castro, he has 4 of them in 13 matches. Anderson of NCFC right there as well. And Tate Robinson, our player of the week, 4 assists in 13 matches. He has that tally as well. Golden Glove race. What can't Northern Colorado do? They score, they defend, and they have a brick in goal. Lalo Delgado, a sub 7.3 goals against average. Then there's Shipman of Madison behind that very good defense. Austin Pack, he's been a revelation this year for Charlotte Independence, and Sean Lewis just going about his business with 5 clean sheets. But look, 6, 6, 6, and 5 in the clean sheet category. Delgado, Shipman, Pack, and Lewis have been fantastic. We have Liam McKinnon, who is going to be the player of the week in USL League One. I was about to tell you about a hat trick that he scored in the opening 22 minutes. See that 4 in the score line? That's Liam McKinnon. 4 goals in the same match. USL League One history on this Wednesday night, and it's Liam McKinnon 4, Chattanooga 1 right now in the 70th minute. Going back to Sunday, NCFC and Lexington 2-2. Postponement, Tormenta and Northern Colorado 1-0 Greenville last weekend. And coming up tomorrow, you're going to have Forward Madison. All they do is play midweek games at this point. It's been a while since they played on a Saturday. It'll be Forward Madison, that defense, against a spunky Lexington side. Back on April 8th, it was a scoreless draw that was certainly not shy of opportunities, including that shot off the post late. Would have provided a winner for the Mingos. 8 o'clock tomorrow night right here on ESPN+. Saturday's lineup looks like this. Richmond hosting 1 Knoxville, Chattanooga and Charlotte Independence. Union Omaha welcoming Tormenta into town. NoCo and Central Valley. Tormenta and Forward Madison midweek next Wednesday. I told you Forward Madison only plays midweek. When we come back, we'll get you set for the second half of action. We're scoreless. 1 Knoxville, Union Omaha, halftime on ESPN+.
Turned over. Babu Karchai to put it away. Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points. 3-1 Rising.
Let's go through our halftime highlights, and we've got one of them. And there was only 1 shot on target. Here it is. And Sean Lewis, equal to the task. He corrals it. And now the simple man halftime numbers. Only 1 shot on target. 7-3 shots edge for Union Omaha. 55-45 possession for Union Omaha. And a yellow card shown to Frankie Ross of 1 Knoxville. There you see the men from Knoxville back out onto the pitch here for the second half. Can 1 Knoxville grind its way to a result? Can Union Omaha, in desperate need of a 3-point result, find a winner? We'll find out in the next 45. At this point for Union Omaha, a single point in the table, there is no solace in that any longer. That's all that they've been able to muster in terms of positives here since late April. They want a win. and a chance to propel themselves back into this playoff race in USL League One. Ken Levicka with you from Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska. Union Omaha and 1 Knoxville still looking to unlock the nets here tonight. Ryan Rose, our executive producer, his entire staff. Glad you're joining us here on this Wednesday, part of a Week 15 opening night twosome that has featured history in the other match. All the goals are in Greenville. A 4-1 lead for Greenville. 4 goals for Liam McKinnon. It is the first 4-goal single-match performance in USL League One history. And just for good measure, Greenville scored the Chattanooga goal as well on an own goal. We have a free kick opportunity here. Noe Mesa stands over what appears to be a pretty dangerous set piece. We'll see the foul here. There's a clip in the back from Vanderploum. So Noe Mesa, the second leading scorer in USL League One, has an opportunity here. Can he put it on goal? Can he make Sean Lewis work? Mesa. And he does find the back of the net, a perfect curler. Union Omaha wastes no time out of the locker room taking the lead. Noe Mesa can only be one man. 1-0, Union Omaha. That is as good as it gets. Lewis didn't stand a chance. It was perfectly placed from Noe Mesa. Number 7 on the year. Golden. Tucks it inside the near post. Through the gap in the wall. And now the real challenge begins for Union Omaha, hanging on to a lead. Noe Mesa's 7th goal of the year, 47th minute. Brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery. We have been overtaken by celebratory smoke here in this hot, humid air in Omaha, so we'll let that waft away eventually. We're going to be playing in some cloud cover here for a moment. So Noe Mesa off of a dazzling free kick has given the hosts the lead. And now they're looking for more. Union Omaha right back at it in the attacking third. The referee says play on. Union Omaha lurking. Knoxville is going to have to recover here defensively. Look a bit shaken. Good ball forward. This is sent into the area corner. Knoxville right now being outworked out of the locker room. Well, Union Omaha has had 4 halftime leads this season. They've only won 2 of those. The other 2, you guessed it, draws. A Moldatello corner kick for Union Omaha. To the middle of the box, and it's headed just wide. Thomas was marking that back post. Union Omaha continuing to apply pressure. So Noe Mesa and his glorious free kick as Union Omaha on top 1-0. Now for Union Omaha, I mentioned the trick is trying to hang on to this lead. They have been downright poor in 2023 protecting leads. Union Omaha this season has conceded 11 second-half goals. That's tied for the most in USL League One. Even with the team at the bottom of the table, Central Valley Fuego. Also, Union Omaha has conceded 7 equalizers this season. That is the most in USL League One. 2 more than Lexington. No other team after Lexington's conceded more than 3 equalizers this season. So it's been a profound lack of success hanging on the leads this season for this Union Omaha side, which is why they have 6 draws. They've scored first 6 times this season, only have 2 victories to show for it. That is difficult to do. But they are outplaying one Knoxville in every respect right now. That's the good news for Dominic Cassiato's side. And a foul will give one Knoxville possession that is largely just not been there, been non-existent for one Knoxville out of halftime. Very quick spell of possession there for the visitors. Will this be the night that Union Omaha snaps a streak that goes all the way back to April 29th? That was the last victory. It was over Northern Colorado, and since then it's been nothing but losses and draws for Union Omaha. It is now 5-1 Greenville. It was not Liam McKinnon this time, who has 4 goals tonight for Greenville. It was Leo Castro who scored. Nice that Liam McKinnon allowed one of his other teammates to put into the back of the net. What a glorious performance for Liam McKinnon. It is rare that in the first match of a week of USL League One soccer that you already have your player of the week, yet here we are. Now they're coming into tonight, we're 11 braces on the season. Frankie Ross did that for one Knoxville Saturday. Liam McKinnon had the 12th brace of the year very early in the first half tonight, but now with 4 goals, does it make the 12th and 13th braces of the year in USL League One? I don't think it works like that, but I'm just spitballing here. Here is Dion Akoff for Union Omaha. One Knoxville just doesn't have any ideas on the attack. Solid crowd for a steamy Wednesday night affair here at Warner Park. This is a good ball forward. Looking for 2, and it is punched across the end line for a corner. And Dos Santos is beside himself because he made a phenomenal run. And without a touch, Dos Santos would have had a tap in second. cleared out of the box. Stolabella came late to try and get ahead on that. Defended well. This is whipped into the box. Never made it to Lewis. Some confident defending there from one Knoxville. But man, they just cannot hang on to the ball. Union Omaha protected well against a potential counter. This has been a very in-control effort from Dominic Casciato, who, when we spoke to him this week, reiterated, hey, guys are confident, they're positive, they're feeling good. There's no panic here. It is June. There's a giveaway in the midfield. Now Angelo Kelly allows James Thomas to join the party. And then a poor touch there. And that entire sequence by the wayside. Kelly. This is crossed into the middle. And Skier's able to take care of that with some nifty footwork. Now Brito on the far side. And one Knoxville has to go retrieve. Well, there was some build-up finally for one Knoxville in this second half. And nothing that Rashid Nuhu in goal for Union Omaha had to worry about. There's a good ball forward. Headed up into the air. Contact in the box. It's lost. No! Ho! Acrobatic. And keeps it 1-0 to the hosts. Good pace on it, but Nuhu read it well. Got his two hands on it. And made a strong save on Frank Ross. There's a no foul, no whistle from the referee as Angelo Kelly made contact from behind on Marco Milanesa. Union Omaha came into tonight worst second half goal differential in USL League One at -4. They're +1 right now. Into the middle for Dos Santos, never found him. One Knoxville's trying to spread out Union Omaha a bit, but Union Omaha really tracking back aggressively. Thomas. Now one Knoxville will try and generate something against what up until tonight has been a much maligned Union Omaha defense. Comes Angelo Kelly. And this will be a Union Omaha throw-in. ESPN Plus, don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club's on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN Plus. The home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. That's ESPN Plus. And you know about ESPN Plus if you're watching right now because you're viewing on ESPN Plus. We're going to see a pair of subs here for Union Omaha momentarily. We've seen Shaft Brewer warming up along the touchline, and we've also seen Joe Gallardo as well, and there they are. right in front of your very eyes. Joe Gallardo is going to take off Joe Brito and take his place in the midfield. Dion Akoff's night is done. He's got a pretty significant heat map. Shaft Brewer Jr., the former US U18 and U20 man, will come on for Dominic Casiato. We are past the hour mark here at Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska. Ken Levicka with you, week 15 of the USL League One campaign. And Gallardo races on. Key substitutions, especially with kickoff temperatures in the upper 80s. Chance for some fresh legs, and you got to think that Mark McKeever is going to do the same at some point. Earlier this week said, hey, it would be great if I could get about 20 minutes for Ilya Ilic. Perhaps that's in the cards tonight out of necessity. Is that a corner or is that a throw-in? The answer is a throw-in. I believe that hit the corner flag, that deflection there in the corner. In front of the right field foul pole here at Werner Park. 3:15 down the right field line if you're scoring at home. Not the longest of pokes, as they say in the business. Can one Knoxville find something out of nothing? At home with the lead late, it would not be out of character for this 2023 Union Omaha side to concede. But one Knoxville really not applying any sort of worrisome pressure to Los Bujos. The goal courtesy of Noe Mesa. It happened in the 47th minute off of a wonderful free kick. Thomas goes down, card comes out, and it's Marco Milanese in the book. Minute number 64 is when Union Omaha gets booked for the first time, courtesy of the young 24-year-old Italian Marco Milanese. As he swiped across the right ankle. The wrist cast laden James Thomas. Some space here for Angelo Kelly. Can he put in a good ball? The answer is yes, but he couldn't connect on the far post. Trying to find a sprawling Jake Keegan. Could not get on the end of that. That was better from one Knoxville. That's not better. Dos Santos. Oh, fantastic ball on the right foot. Up top, Dos Santos. And all he could do was punch it at Lewis. Looks like he might have chunked it a bit. Didn't have a lot of power behind that as one Knoxville recovered quickly. We're going to see Mark McKeever counter with 2 subs of his own after Union Omaha started the proceedings. And I mentioned Ilya Illich, and here he comes in place of Frank Ross. So Mark McKeever was hoping his words, he'd maybe get 20 minutes or so out of Ilya Illich. Well, he might get more than that. As Illich comes on for Ross. And then Seba Andreasen will take Callum Johnson off. So some new legs here for one Knoxville as Mark McKeever tries to change his fortunes, down 1-0. Well past the 60-minute mark. Both teams have been shown yellow tonight. Frank Ross, who had earned yellow for one Knoxville, he is now substituted off. Marco Milanesa, the back line for Union Omaha, has been booked as well. Thomas. Milanesa, no problems defending him off the ball. And it's one back by one Knoxville. Angelo Kelly has started to make his presence felt in this second half. Pushed on to Thomas. High skyward cross, may have taken a deflection, headed up over the goal. And it's going to be a corner for one Knoxville. A bit fortunate there, but one Knoxville will take the set piece. Lee Waldeck to waltz over and handle this. Waldeck with a left-footed in-swinger towards the back post, and nothing doing. One Knoxville was hoping for better from that effort. The USL's on ESPN. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun. Face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. Phoenix Rising FC, Memphis 901 FC, Saturday, July 1st, 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The USL on ESPN. Union Omaha looking for a second. You got to think if they can find a second goal, this one is a wrap. One Knoxville doing what they do best, though, and that's just hanging around, giving themselves a chance. They've been outplayed, they've been outclassed, but they still have a chance. And that's snuffed out without much of a problem by Union Omaha. Sean Lewis will not collect his 6th clean sheet of the year. But he is now tasked with trying to keep this 1-0, and he distributes to put things back into play for pink-clad one Knoxville. Vanderplam, part of the 11 tonight for one Knoxville, pops this one into the area. Headed on by Andreasen. Knew who was expecting it. But there is a shot on target. It's the second of the night for one Knoxville. The first one was a bit disputed. Angelo Kelly, was it a cross? What is it? Was it a shot in the first half? That one was definitely a shot. But Nuhu was not tricked by the Andreasen header from distance. Thomas into the middle. And the back heel from Illich. Nifty, but nobody there. The referee says play on. Fevzi Dimirhan, with conviction, says let's keep it moving. The crowd didn't like it. He's unfazed, and here comes one Knoxville. Thomas waiting for reinforcements, and here they come. And right now, it looks like the one Knoxville attack is send it into the air, into the box, and pray. And Rashid Nuhu easily snags that out of midair. Nuhu is a phenomenal field general for Union Omaha. He has been since he joined the club. He has been one of the, if not the, goalkeeping standard every season in USL League One. In the middle, here's Illich. Andreasen had that swiped away. Is this a corner or a goal kick? And the answer is goal kick. Strong defensive play from Shaft Brewer Jr. as he hooked it away from Seba Andreasen. Union Omaha making another substitution. Connor Doyle, the wily veteran. We're also going to get an Alex Steinwasser appearance as Steven Dos Santos will come off. Connor Doyle is on for Luis Gill. So 4 substitutions now for Dominic Casciato as Union Omaha tries to see this through. It's been Brewer for Akoff at left back. Gallardo for Brito in the midfield. Doyle has taken Gill off in the Union Omaha midfield. And at the top of the formation, Dos Santos heads to the bench in favor of Alex Steinwasser. We'll see what Mark McKeever is going to do on the one Knoxville side now. He's made 2 substitutions, and they've already made a little bit of an impact as Illich and Andreasen have at least had to be accounted for on a couple of occasions on the attack. Not quite too late yet for desperation for one Knoxville. Plays like that, not going to get it done as Kelly red carpets possession back to Union Omaha. It is a final in Greenville, a historic thrashing. Greenville 5, Chattanooga 1. 4 goals for Liam McKinnon, first time in USL League One history. One individual has done that in a single match. McKinnon also the fastest hat trick in USL League One history. Took him 22 minutes. And it was the first hat trick of 2023 in League One. Good night for Liam McKinnon. Mace is called for the foul as he wrestles Kelly to the turf. The crowd thought Kelly may have thrown himself out of that natural surface, but the referee gives him the benefit of the doubt. When Knoxville tries to push forward, Nuhu able to keep that in play on what was an accelerated short hop. It looked like Nuhu might have landed a little awkwardly on that right foot. He shakes it off, goes back to work. 3 shots on target for both sides. Nothing particularly dangerous from one Knoxville. Back to Lewis, able to put it back into play. And now Mesa for Union Omaha. On to Connor Doyle, now Milanesa. Union Omaha not exactly pressing the action on the attack, certainly making one Knoxville have to work defensively. This is very sound, the way Los Bujos are playing right now. Good hustle by Noe Mesa to end the potential counter option. Leading goal scorer, and he gets in there and mixes it up. Gotta love seeing that. And it's won right back by Union Omaha, but here's Kelly. He's been good in this second half for one Knoxville. Now Thomas. James Thomas up the right side. On to Kelly. Touches it back on to Thomas. Thomas, left foot. Andreasen just wide. That was a really good opportunity. Shaft Brewer had him marked. Andreasen's size. Knew who wasn't pleased that that ball found Andreasen's head. But Union Omaha able to go into the second half hydration break with the lead 1-0. Andreasen frustrated with himself as he shouts to the heavens. Here you'll see the Thomas delivery. Andreasen not that far off target. Knew who had tracked over to that far post, though. Read it fairly well, as you'd expect from a veteran all-league goalkeeper. SiriusXM, you can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including the return of USL All Access Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, starting June 13th, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app. The hydration break brought to you by the Lindsay Corporation. 1-0 the score line. And why are we at that place? Well, why don't we revisit it, shall we? This is the 47th minute. Noe Mesa just mastery on this free kick from 25 yards out. Oh, is that beautiful. Inside the near post, as good as it gets. All Sean Lewis could do was look behind him, and the celebration was on. The 0-0 scoreline broken, and that is held to this point as we now head into the home stretch on this Wednesday night here in suburban Omaha. There is the goal scorer. You know how good he is. You know how efficient he is. You know how wily he is. Yet, you can't stop him this season. He finds a way to score. Set piece on a run. He's got a bicycle kick goal this season. He'll poach you. He's just right place, right time. And he is only one goal back in the Golden Boot race. Speaking of the Golden Boot race, Liam McKinnon has just thrown himself into the Golden Boot race tonight. Liam McKinnon with those 4 goals, now has 6 on the year. So a -2 goals heading into tonight. Now he's in the Golden Boot discussion. If you love Golden Boot graphics at halftime of your favorite USL League One game on ESPN Plus, and you love Liam McKinnon, I got news for you. Saturday is going to be awesome for you. Waldeck sprays it on to Thomas. One Knoxville trying to patiently, yet now with a bit more urgency, get itself in a position to at least make Rashid Nuhu work. This has been a Union Omaha defense that has been sieve-like. Dominic Casciato refused to place any of the blame on Rashid Nuhu, saying, hey, he has been fine, he has been excellent, he's been Rashid Nuhu. The defense just has not been good enough here in 2023. As we mentioned, in the last 6, 12 goals conceded. That is not going to win you many football matches, but tonight things have been very sound, Very professional for Union Omaha to this point in the 81st minute. There is just not a lot of room for one Knoxville to operate. Certainly have looked muffled a bit by the small dimensions, uncharacteristically so, of this unique Werner Park pitch. That hit the referee, and so Kelly's going to be awarded the ball back. I mean, you might just have to, if you're one Knoxville, try a little route one action. Because nothing's really coming off the wings. Certainly nothing's coming up the middle on the ground. Might have to just try and hit over the top and hope. Vanderploum into the middle. Thomas pressed right away. There's that route one action and a push in the back, but the flag is up. And is Waldeck going to be shown a card for embellishment? Yes, he is. He can't believe it. I don't know about that. But I suppose that's subject to replay. The flag was up, so regardless, there was not going to be a foul in the box. Waldeck gets a card for embellishment. Let's see here. Maybe, unless there was a clacking of the ankles from Brewer to Waldeck. But Waldeck, on second look, Femzi Demirahan may have made the right call. Looked like Waldeck, based on that second look, may have escorted himself onto the surface. Now Union Omaha looking to clinch it. Strong tackle out of play, throw in coming for Union Omaha. As we mentioned earlier, pretty good midweek turnout here. Strong fan base, strong support, even through the struggles for Union Omaha. The fans have not been accustomed to only 2 wins in the first 11 like Union Omaha has put forth so far this season, but there's time to pull out of this. This franchise has very much bred a winning culture. 2021 USL League One champions. A runner-up in 2020. And that COVID-affected season did not get to play the championship match against Greenville Triumph because of COVID. And a playoff participant a year ago. Nuhu will run up on this and scoop it up. Waldeck on the turn. He's on a card and he's on the run. And as has been the case so often tonight, a wall of black and neon in front of one Knoxville attackers. And the ball unable to find its way through. Mahenga Soleimani is about to come on for Mark McKeever in 1 Knoxville. Oh, look at this run from Union Omaha. However, Angelo Kelly able to come on and end that run. Mesa has hit the ground. It looks like he's cramping up for Union Omaha. Odd man situation here for 1 Knoxville. Can they take advantage? I don't see. There is Mesa. He has come back on and he has recovered. Looks like he's moving pretty well. And everybody in a pink shirt is bracketed as soon as they have possession of the ball. Mesa goes back down. There's Soleimani, who I mentioned. Jake Keegan, who had a very quiet night. Credit to Union Omaha. They marked him extremely well. Keegan comes off in the 87th minute. So the Canadian, Mahenga Soleimani. Now Mesa has popped up for Union Omaha, yet we have another what appears to be cramping situation in Union Omaha's shirt. Is that Milanesa? So some on-pitch treatment here, teammate to teammate. And now here comes the trainer. Give everybody a chance to put some more water into their systems. That is not Milanesa, that is actually Dolabella, who has been afflicted. And the motion's being made for a substitution. As Jordan Skelton comes up to the referee and asks, hey, can we move this along a bit? So Union Omaha is going to go to the bench, and it looks like Shivani Willis will be the man that Dominic Casciato selects to end Pedro Dolabella's night. Jamaican national. We're also going to see Gabriel Claudio, formerly of Union Omaha, come on for 1 Knoxville. So there is Willis as Dolabella's night comes to an end. And Claudio takes Angelo Kelly off for 1 Knoxville. Into the 6-yard box, right on to Nuhu, and he immediately goes to the ground. Well, that should be credited as a shot on target. But again, Nuhu has not had to work particularly hard here tonight. He made an acrobatic save, but he didn't have to really range much. He just is quick twitch, and everything he does looks really, really impressive. Part of the allure of Rashid Nuhu, not only is he an outstanding goalkeeper, but he does a lot with flair, and you have to appreciate that. Not only is he ultra talented, he's a phenomenal showman. Here's a giveaway. This is played up the right side. The cross to the middle! And it was marked by Alexis Suahi, who may have preserved 3 points. He slid in and avoided a potential short-range shot. Desperation defense off that low cross, and he was there to mark Andreasen, who is streaking in the middle. Now here's the corner. Body's hitting the ground again. And a yellow is shown in the box. On the corner, there was a shirt tug. My goodness. That happened in the box. Andreasen was pulled to the ground. Is Andreasen going to be sent to the area? The answer is yes. Is Union Omaha going to lose another late lead? It's on Suahi. He has collected the yellow. And one Knoxville in the 92nd minute has a chance to equalize against Rashid Nuhu. What a call here as Suahi and Andreasen went tumbling to the turf. And Femsi Dimmerhan, there was the point to the spot. Unreal. Union Omaha has once again put itself in a position to concede late and have 3 points snatched from them. This has been their identity all season long in this frustrating year, and they're on the doorstep of watching it happen to them again. For 1-1, and Nuhu is beaten. Easy does it. Union Omaha concedes late again. 1 Knoxville draws level, and it's Ilya Illich to do the duty. How does it keep happening to Union Omaha? It's like clockwork at this point. That is the 8th equalizer conceded this season by Union Omaha. That is far and away the most in the league. And now it's a character trait. 1-1 with 4 more minutes left of stoppage time, brought to you by Muchachos. Just when you think it couldn't possibly happen again, it has to Dominic Casciato's side. Staring right in the face of a 7th draw on the season and a 7th straight winless effort. The referee points to the spot on a foul called off a corner in front of the Rashid Nuhu goal. And Ilya Illich has made it 1-1. One Knoxville will be perfectly content with another point on the road. A 5th straight unbeaten on the road for one Knoxville if this holds. Can they find another one? That is the 7th penalty drawn this year by one Knoxville. That's the most in USL League One. And now we're going to have a card shown. That's going to go to James Thomas. Trying to plead his case, it won't matter. A Hale Varsity Club yellow card shown to James Thomas. Here comes Union Omaha. Can they atone? Mesa, he would be the man to do it. He gets dispossessed, but some problems in the area from one Knoxville before it's finally blasted into the midfield. That was not the strongest defensive play there from Master Antonio, but they get away with it. Now Union Omaha back on the attack. Long ball ahead. Shaft Brewer. 5 goals conceded, final 15 this season. Oh, keeping it out. side of the goal line was Sean Lewis. That was an unexpected challenge from distance. That was not a shot that had floated in there, and suddenly Lewis had to account for it. How about that? Brewer, and that was headed for goal. Lewis was in his goal, kept the ball outside the goal line. And one Knoxville trying to track meet it on the other end, earn themselves a corner. Rashid Nuhu, frustrated, screaming instructions to his defense. Five conceded goals in the final 15 this season for Union Omaha. Incredible. There's Thomas with the corner. Headed high up into the air, and Mesa takes care of it. Not cleared yet, though. Punch back in and wide. It has been a half an hour since Union Omaha had a shot. Based on our in-stadium statistics. A fight for this ball. And here's a hook, and this is going to be a card. That's a clear as day card. That's shown to Steinwasser, and now a free kick. Man, oh man. You have seen the best of Union Omaha at times tonight, and you have seen the reason why they haven't won since April 29th here in the final half an hour. Thomas will do it from the right of the box, looking for an unlikely game winner. Thomas to the back post, and that was not a good effort, and Thomas frustrated. And there's the final whistle. It has happened again to Union Omaha. A team that has been cursed by nothing but draws this season. A 7th on the year. They had 3 points seemingly in the bag, but a foul in the box against Suwahi of Union Omaha leads to an Ilya Illich stoppage time penalty, and one Knoxville. Now 5 straight unbeaten away from home. Union Omaha continues its winless streak that started on April 29th. The final here at Warner Park, Union Omaha won, one Knoxville won. Post-game coming up after this as the fans file out, still wondering what they witnessed. Union Omaha and one Knoxville, a 1-1 draw. We'll recap it after this. It's USL League One on ESPN+.
My name is Connor Doyle, and I'm a midfielder with Union Omaha. I was excited. It was obviously not a big reason why I came here, but Jay mentioned it as being a possibility of once joining the team, it was going to be a partnership with the club, and getting towards the end of my career, it was obviously a thing that I wanted to look towards finishing my degree, and so with a chance of getting a scholarship and kind of getting those things paid for, it was definitely pretty exciting and special. Like I said, I'm kind of nearing the end of my career in the next few years, and so it's kind of looking forward to that next step in life, and degrees go a big way in helping people make those next steps, so it's kind of the reason why I decided to finally get back into it. It's a big deal, because you know, there's guys like Yoskar who have the chance to kind of go pro at 18, but also you could go to a college and get a 4-year degree and maybe have a scholarship that way, but this gets things paid for, and he can be in a professional environment from a young age and learn. And so I think that's a big deal in terms of getting guys up through kind of the academy and stuff, and you can still promise them a degree and an education along with being in a professional environment. My name is Connor Doyle, and I am a Bellevue University student.
It is a recurring nightmare for Union Omaha. Late conceded goals leading to draws. It has just happened again. Union Omaha led from the 47th minute on. One Knoxville with the equalizer in stoppage time. That man, Ilya Illich, with the penalty. that earns one Knoxville a point on the road. Post-game brought to you by Midwest Dairy Association. 1-1 Union Omaha and 1 Knoxville. As 1 Knoxville picks up a point in the table, Union Omaha a point when they will certainly feel like they deserve 3. Noe Mesa for Union Omaha. 47th minute, there is the beautiful free kick goal. The curler, that's as good as it gets. Put that on a poster. Run a highlight reel. Noe Mesa, his 7th of the year, for number 7, and it was 1-0. 1 Knoxville would slowly but surely start to show some life on the attack. Nuhu with a strong save. Then in stoppage time, it was this corner where Andreasen is dragged to the turf by Alexis Suahi. The referee shows the card, calls the foul, points to the spot, and in the 92nd minute, Ilya Illich, a second-half substitute, rolls in the penalty. 1-1, that's the final. Nuhu goes left, the shot goes right. At the end, it was Sean Lewis having to make a play on a ball that nobody thought was actually an attempt on goal from Shaft Brewer until it was. And things wrap up 1-1. 11 shots for Union Omaha to 10 for 1 Knoxville. 1 Knoxville so stagnant on the attack for so often on the evening. Wins the shots on target battle 5-4 and wins possession 52-48. Not a single shot for Union Omaha other than Brewer in the final 34 minutes. 4-3 yellow cards for Union Omaha. By the way, there was a yellow shown after the match to Union Omaha's Shivani Willis. This is after full time was called. So Union Omaha had Shivani Willis put in the book after the final whistle was heard. These full-time numbers brought to you by the Simple Man. You had an explosion in Greenville, a 5-1 victory over Chattanooga. The 2 goals tonight in this one, and tomorrow can Lexington and Madison continue the drama in Week 15 of USL League One? We'll find out. They had a scoreless draw April 8th that had its own drama, especially this late attempt for forward Madison that went off the post. It was a post parade on April 8th. That'll be tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN+. Well, the little ones loved it. The Flag Bearers loved it. We loved it. I'm not sure Union Omaha as a club loves the result, but the hosts do draw a point in the table, but they will rue the fact it should have been 3. 1 Knoxville with the late penalty, a 1-1 draw. Want to thank Ryan Rose, his entire production staff. I'm Ken LaVicka. This has been USL League One on ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.